I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to ride as good as I could, and I feel like I really wanted to maximize today because I did feel like I had a speed advantage. So it's I've done it a few times. It's frustrating to get qualify fastest, win the heat, and then not win the main. So I wanted to complete that, and yeah, I felt good. I was really good in the loops. Turns were really good. So just felt on today, and that's yeah, you got to win on those days.
And maximize you did. Congratulations, Chase. Sexton will open it up to questions from the media. Kellen.
Kel Brower, Swap Moto Live. I want to get both Chase and Cooper your perspective on the early pass in the race, because for you, Chase, it seemed like it was kind of like you just sniped really quickly. I don't know if you even were thinking of setting up the pass there. And then Coop, your perspective on it. Did you know that he would try to make a quick pass like that, and did you expect a little bit of contact too?
I could feel him for sure, and he was coming in, and yeah, I mean, he wanted to pass, and you never know. I mean, it's for a championship, right? So it's always in the back of your mind. I think, yeah, I think listening, he thought I cross jumped him in early, and I get the frustration and stuff. So, you gotta expect it. You kind of are mindful of it. But yeah, just good to not go down, and then. Yeah, I mean, he rode away from us, but yeah, it was good to leave a few laps for sure.
Yeah, for me, I was just really just fired up from the first lap. I just feel like it was a little dangerous. I think he got cross jumped maybe a little bit by the guy in the front, and then I was in third and got the worst end of it. And luckily, I was able to see it and not crash. But I just was kind of seeing right at that point. I wanted to get to the lead, and yeah, like I said, I knew I could run some good laps. So if I get out front and break away, that was my goal.
Scott.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now. Justin, our team tactics talked at all about, obviously Cooper needs the points, they're super valuable. Is there ever a situation in which you would have made the pass knowing how valuable the points are to Cooper, to Webb?
Nah, I mean, I kind of try to respect the championship battle going on, and when there's two guys, duking it out for a championship, you don't want to be the guy that's, intervening with it. My speed was really good tonight. I think it would have been a little bit of a different story if I started, even anywhere up there. So it was definitely frustrating to ride that well and be that far back. I had to make a lot of passes, and on a track that's really tough to pass on, especially with the dry conditions out there. It definitely was challenging, but pretty proud of myself for the staying focused, staying charging, and getting up to the podium.
Jamie
Guido, Vital MX. I'm going to break the rules just real quick because I have a question, but I want to follow up with what you said, Coop, about him thinking you cross-jumped him. Did you guys discuss that post-race, or did he say it on the podium?
No, I mean, I think he said, Malk had the whole shot. Everyone's going left to get their line. He kind of left on me. I went left, and that put us all at risk for sure. And I mean, it's unfortunate because it's, I don't want to do that. I hate getting cross-jumped. I think it's bullshit. So obviously it's not intentional by any means. And I think we're trying to make such quick work early. And it was already a section, like I clipped that and would get cattywampus all day. So I think all of us kind of, probably besides Chase, we're really struggling with that jump in general. So like I said, I didn't mean to. Obviously I get in the moment, and hopefully he knows I would never do that on purpose,
All right, my actual question is for you too, Coop. I did feel like you were struggling a little bit tonight in the corners. Was I seeing that wrong, or did you feel like you were a little?
Yeah, I mean, I was off, right? It was a tough day. I mean, obviously you can say a million things, but definitely not feeling great. But just in general, my corners all day were not good. We need to work on that for sure.
Johnny
Hopper with MX Unfiltered. Cooper, so in the heat race, I saw you flinch. Was that intentional to try to mess up Sexton? And are those tactics potentially going to continue moving into Utah?
Yeah, I wanted to see if he was just counting the gate or not. But he didn't take the bait.
And then Sexton, because we saw a lot of sparks in the 250 class, you're only 9 points. Are you willing to potentially bar bang to win this championship at the final round?
I mean, it is for a championship, but I'm not going to do anything dumb. Like even tonight, like for me, that's pretty aggressive for my standards on my part. And I've definitely cross jumped Coop a few times, so it's not like I haven't done it. I was just fired up. I mean, we all get emotional in the moment, so yeah, like I said, I think he got crossed over on, and then for me, I was just in a bad spot. But we've all had it done to each other, and it's not great. But yeah, that's why I was just emotional in that moment. But for me, I'm not a dirty rider. I try and just do what I can and see what happens behind me. That's my goal. But yeah, tonight that's about as aggressive as it gets for me.
Dan.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Justin. We talked a couple of weeks ago about the importance of points and the importance of being a good teammate. So it's kind of a two-part question. If that had been for the lead, would it have been different? And now that you've got back-to-back podiums and your third podium of the season, how close do you think you are to getting that first win next week?
Yeah, I feel like just my starts are good all day, and then main event they've been bad lately. And just can't give those guys any advantage off the beginning of the main. I definitely need to be at least with them to stay with them. They're riding great, and it's not easy to make up time on these guys. So I felt like it was a really tough race for me physically. I had to push pretty hard to bridge the gap once I got into fifth, fourth to go after Malcolm and Coop there at the end, and it definitely wasn't easy. I was pretty spent already, so had to really dig deep and keep clicking off the laps that I was running to get there. So there wasn't really any time for a break there, and I feel like I had great speed. I just I got to put myself in better position off the gate in the main, and that's on me. So got one more though.
And if that had been for the pass had been for the lead, would you have been a little more aggressive?
On who?
On Cooper.
For a win. Yeah. I mean, by the time I got to third, it was white flag. Like I was almost being defensive with the lappers, and like I had to watch when I was squaring up because I just passed Malcolm and I felt him. He was definitely there the last lap. I felt him creep up on us in the whoops, and I felt the crowd behind us. So I really took my mind off even, trying to get Coop there at the end, and more just trying to like watch my back because I knew he was gonna, try to make something happen for the podium in those last couple turns. And yeah, definitely, felt his presence there. So it was definitely a tough last lap.
Thank you.
Adam.
Adam from Track Talkers for Justin Cooper. Dan, you kind of stole my question, but anyways, what really made the time up at the end? Was it fitness or was it lines that you were taking where you made up all that speed?
My lines were good. I found like I got into a better flow around halfway when I kind of got some clear track. I was definitely fighting with a lot of guys there in the first half, and once I was able to kind of move around on the track and find new lines, I felt like I was, the track was getting easier for me, and was just rolling my turns really well. And I think the biggest thing was just keeping my pace. I'd like to think that my lap times are pretty consistent there at the end and not really dropping off. And with the lap traffic, I just kind of kept my head down all the way to the end, and I think that's what made the difference.
Michael.
Thanks, Haley. Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. This will be for Cooper. Can you take us through from the time that you got passed for the lead, not the pass itself, but what that situation was like knowing that Malcolm was making time, the pressure that he was putting on you, and then maybe the last 5 minutes when Justin comes in and is a good tail gunner, so hey, he's able to make speed, but is he going to be able to get Malcolm? Knowing the situation, just your health today, how was those 15 minutes?
It was tough, man. It really was. I mean, I tried to latch on to Chase, but as he said, he was really on it today, and it was hard to do. And I felt like I rode a great race. Like I felt really consistent. My lap time felt good. I feel like I hit the whoops solid all day. And like you said, a few of the turns, I think I'll look back on a few of my lines. Like I could feel Justin those last few laps catch me in certain areas. Me and Mount pretty much stayed the same the whole race. And like you said, maybe one lap he'd get me here and there, but I knew it was going to be really hard to pass. I was imagining Malcolm was probably a little bit better in the whoops, just knowing Malcolm and stuff like that. But I felt like maybe the rest of the track I could get back away. But yeah, we were, at least on my board, we were pretty much identical every lap. So I knew, he's at Eldon's. I knew he wasn't going to fade. I knew he was going to be battling. I knew, these guys are battling for third in the championship now, which is a new battle. So there's a lot of money at stake. There's podiums at stake. So I was just trying to go as hard as I could for as long as I could. And like I said, at the end there, I was really holding on and expecting a fight. I think like Justin said, I was ready to ride a wide bike for that second place for sure.
Hey, if I could ask a follow-up, the bike was steaming when you got done. Was that just you pushing it to the limit?
Probably so. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely riding my clutch probably more than I have in a while, and it's tough. This altitude, like we have to make a lot of changes on the engine, and I think it was something that for me, you had to make adjustments, and it's not running like it normally does, so you're maybe riding it a little different, or in that case, I'm clutching it more just to get some more oomph out of it, right? So more than likely that was why.
Yeah, this is really nice. We got a small circle, and we work hard, we grind, and I know we have a lot of outside noise, but we stay locked in and get these championships. And yeah, man, I'm just in shock because now this is my 4th championship, and it's crazy to me. So it was nice ticking this one off.
Congratulations, Haiden. We'll bring in questions from the media. Adam?
Adam, Track Talkers. Okay, we gotta go over, we were just talking hand gestures, and I seen a little too small after the finish line. First of all, who was that directed at? And then secondly, after the finish, it kind of looked like your whole squad was maybe telling you that you won the championship. Take us through that moment and your feelings there.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do the too small. It's not to anybody, but I just want to I'm the top dog here, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, and I had to do it. I got the win, so, I get back to, or whatever, and they're like, we don't know if you won it, and I'm like asking my team manager, he's like, I don't know if you won it, and the AMA was looking into the rules more to make sure I won it because I had a 25-point lead, and the rules state that I won it, so it took a little while to figure it out, but a little stressful, but we got it.
Awesome, congrats.
Johnny with MX Unfiltered. Deegan, the elephant in the room is, do you like to win that way? And we know that Cole Davies had a 2-win streak going on, and it looked like he potentially could have gotten a 3rd one, and the championship was getting tighter. So do you mind explaining? Because on the podium, there's a lot of guys that were booing, and then they were cheering. There's just a lot of confusion.
Yeah, as much as I'm friends with Cole and stuff, when it's race time and this is 500 grand, this is a new Lambo, so it's like I got a lot on the line for myself, and it's just 2 laps to go. You want to win, and that's what I was raised to do, is win on a dirt bike, and I'm going to take the shot if it was there, and he left the door open. It wasn't, if you really watch it back, it wasn't like a horrible, dirty move. I just kind of tapped him, and he went over the berm, and a little unfortunate, it looked like he got stuck. I was like, there's no way he's stuck. I'm like, I'm going to win the championship right now. It's kind of crazy to me. Obviously, it's not the way you want to win it, but it's racing. That's how it goes, and definitely will do anything to win.
Karaya.
Karaya with Moto Legacy's book series. This is for all 3 of you guys. Were the results tonight what you guys expected?
I kind of, honestly, I had a chip on my shoulder. I needed to win. And as fast as I go up the practice track these last few weeks and how good I felt, it's like stuff wasn't clicking at the race the proper way. And finally it was like just dig in and pit the race together in the heat race and was able to win. So that was a good chip to get off the shoulder.
Yeah, I say the same. Chip on the shoulder. It's been a rough couple weeks for me. And I felt like what I was doing during the week, it just wasn't translating. So I had to come out tonight and perform, and I think I did that.
Yeah, it felt good. Had a good couple weeks after Philly, and always knew I could podium. And no, it was good. Feel like I was riding good all day, and obviously wanted to have a better start. Didn't have quite the best, but I didn't even know I was running 3rd until I think a lap to go. So it was kind of a little bit of a surprise, but I always knew I was a top 3 guy this season. So to finally have back-to-back West Coast podiums, pretty happy with that.
Chase.
Deeks, mate, now that you've won the championship, the first part of the series was definitely more of a struggle than I personally anticipated. I'm wondering if it was more of a struggle than you thought it would be, and now that you've won and now that you can open up about that. Like, how hard was that initial part, and was there a little bit of maybe self-doubt that crept in and you really kind of had to grind through that to get to this point?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my goal this season was just to be as consistent as I can, and I think I podiumed the last 8 rounds, and that was the goal. I definitely want to win, but my thing was, let's just stay consistent, because that's how you win these 250 SX titles, is just being on the podium every weekend, and that's what ended up happening. But there was definitely, I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was pissing me off how I was riding, and just the speed wasn't there, and eventually, just the days were getting better at the practice track, everything was adding up, and it was working. But yeah, now we got the championship done. We got 1 round left. So if any of those East guys want to slide me some money, I'm down. No, I'm just kidding.
Jamie.
Jamie Guido, Vital Mix. My question's for Julian Beaumer. We talked briefly yesterday, and you said you kind of feel like you're back to your normal self. So can you kind of update us on your maybe mid-season, I don't want to use the word slump, but I guess that's the best way to describe it, like maybe what you've been going through and how you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, my riding the last couple weeks showed pretty much nothing. And I think for me, it took the ass beating in Philly to really realize that I need to look at myself in the mirror and figure something out. So yeah, after Philly, looked at myself in the mirror and went to work.
Jason Wygant.
Yeah, for you, Juju, the qualifying was great, and then the heat race, that was a bad start, or could you describe the incident there, and did that lead to a bad gate pick, and did that affect your start in the main? Because it looks like that's where your night kind of came undone.
Yeah, I was trying to start second gear all day, and I did it in the heat race. Didn't get a great start, and then I went down on lap 1, tucked the front. So 6 wasn't a great gate pick, but I switched to first gear start on the side lap for the main event, so I kind of just winged it and kind of prayed a little bit, but my start was better in the main than it was in the heat race and qualifying all day, so I guess it was a good move.
Dan.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Garrett. Podiums in 2 of the last 3 races. Next week is arguably going to be a little more difficult with the 250 East guys in there battling for their championship. But can you walk us through some of the emotions of how you've improved, how you got to where you are from the very beginning of the season?
Yeah, the beginning I felt really good. The first part of the year, obviously the results weren't showing, but after my practice crash after San Diego, I was dealing with a shoulder injury for quite some time. Finally, once I got the 100% during the break after, I want to say it was Indy, really started to feel good. I switched trainers, started to work with Brock Tickle. We really worked on a lot of technique stuff, and didn't really realize I was lacking that much stuff until we started working together. So we really started to make a lot of gains, and yeah, Seattle was a big jump for me to get back on the box, and yeah, I feel like the last 6 weeks has really been a big jump, and to get 2 podiums back to back has been really good. I'm really pumped with that, and just keep building the momentum in the outdoors too.
Kellen.
Kellen Brower, Swap Moto Live. Julian, for you, this is your second full year racing Supercross, and this year you got to be kind of in a title fight. Just take us through like the things that you learned this year that you're hoping to kind of use next year to actually make a full run at this championship.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously first time in this position, so it was a learning curve. I think I just struggled a little bit. Obviously, when we went east, I wasn't great in the ruts in the beginning, and I think I got frustrated too quick. So I got frustrated, and I was kind of beating myself up in a sense. So yeah, I just focus on those things, get better in the ruts, and just try and come back for this title next year.
Jamie.
Again, Jamie Guido, Vital Mix. Hayden, you touched on a little bit ago, you and Cole are cool, but when racing's business. But you also have said before, like with Julian and Levi, like you were cool until you start beating me and getting wins. Can you see some tension brewing at some point with you and Cole, just because he is pretty damn fast?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to, make a rival out of him because, I got to train with him every week. So it's more of just kind of making a statement that I can win. And that was my big thing, was just he was in front, so like I'm going to catch him and pass him. And that was like the big thing to kind of put the statement that I'm still the fastest in Supercross on the 250. And I mean, I feel like I did that kind of towards the end. They were sprinting pretty good at the beginning, so I had to pick it up in the middle. I was like, damn, these guys are moving. But yeah, we picked it up, and yeah, I try not to make it too much of a rival because we got to train during the week. But I mean, we're racing. He wants to win. I want to win. It's gonna happen. It's how it is.
Johnny.
Again, this is Johnny with MX Unfiltered. This is actually a question for the panel. Each and every one of those motorcycles are geared with a traction control setting for slippery conditions. Did you guys have any sort of a different setting to retard the bikes because of how slippery it was?
I just ran my bike. I mean, they do a little different gearing change for the altitude, but besides that, I didn't run any traction control. We were gonna try something in the whoops, like because we know it gets slick, but we just ran it normal because I mean you're already down on power, so let that thing eat.
Yeah, same bike, nothing different.
Yeah, the only thing we changed was sprocket, so that was about it.